I was tagged in something recently and it was somebody saying that concealer and eye primer are exactly the same thing. If you're using concealer as a base for your eyeshadows and it never creases and it works for you, great. I personally like to use eye primers, but here is why factually these two things are different. Now, I personally don't like the slippy silicone eye primers. I actually think they're a bit of a waste of time, but the more creamy ones like the MAC Paint Pots, the Sigma eye primers that are a little bit matter, a little bit waxier, definitely are not concealers. And in fact, if you use them as concealers, you're going to have a really horrible texture under the eye. There are literal ingredients in eye primers that help eyeshadow last a long time, that help eyeshadow blend easier, that help color grip so it's stronger, so it comes out better. You can always tell the blend, me anyway, I can always see when somebody has blended eyeshadow on top of concealer versus when they've blended eyeshadow on top of an eye primer. On concealer, sometimes it has an almost wet look to the shadows. One thing I love about eye primer is that it creates this waxy coat, so oils don't break through that. Therefore, your eyeshadow, your mascara isn't going to run or crease because the oils aren't breaking it down. Concealers contain more moisturizing, more hydrating ingredients. They kind of have to, really. So their job is not to stop the oils from coming through. In fact, their job is going to be a little bit more hydration because that's what looks good on the rest of the face. So while you may be able to use concealer as a base for your eyeshadow, I personally like eye primers. They are not the same product. Eye primers aren't a gimmick. There's a reason they exist, and a very good reason they exist. I like eye primers so much that I would bet money that if you were to use an eye primer, the Sigma eye primer in particular, that by the end of the day, your eyeshadow will still look perfect. There'll be no creases. You'll still have full color. I would bet money on it. Whereas concealer, everyone's skin is different, so it deals with concealer differently.